And welcome back to Bros in a Landfill.
This is the base Turnabout trial ladder. Guys, do you remember what the fuck happened? We recorded this yesterday.
We're reviving the dead. We're doing necromancy. Yeah. We're doing legal necromancy.
Yep, it's legally. The judge said it's cool, so it's cool.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Pretty chill about it.
Oh no, guys! I'm about to make a joke about not being old enough to play this trial again. Please stop me before I do so.
Trybien, please stop this.
Boy, this is the second part of the base Turnabout. Oh man, I would have never guessed. I mean, it's not like they put part 2 or anything in there. It's just trial ladder.
Yeah, there's no numbers, so like, how do you know which one goes first? You know?
Yeah. Oh, cool. They're very nice to post the link to the first part. Maybe I should do that first before we should play.
Yeah, let's do that.
Fuck you. It's fine, I swear.
No, I think you. I'm pretty sure the volume's lower than last time.
Huh.
Or maybe
I mean,
I'm losing my mind.
There's no volume yet, so yes, the volume is technically lower.
It's as low as it can go.
Fucking smart asses, the both of you.
You guys already have the link to the
yes,
thing, so that's cool.
We have the link to the walkthrough.
So it's been pretty easy, though. I don't know if there's gonna be some epic based troll near the end.
I'm sure there is.
Come on, Daddy, cheer up!
You're not real.
That's actually quite loud for me. Fuck. Okay. Where is my volume settings? I lost my volume settings.
He's got to a funny technical difficulties screen.
Come on, Daddy, cheer up!
You're not real. No, there's nothing to be cheery about, Trucy. Edgeworth out BS'd me and got the trial elongated. I need to like zoom. I need to. Okay, there we go.
That is a
now
line of dialogue.
I barely got the case this far in the first place.
Why are you so nervous? The victim is just going to say that the fourth party stabbed him, right?
No, think about it. The killer wasn't trying to kill Luke Atney. He was probably a landlord being leeched off of, just like Mr. Atney was. Mr. Atney might prefer to have Mr. Lestate in jail.
You're overthinking things!
Not a bad point.
Yeah. I mean, even the victim
always
could be,
sunny
biased
cut.
in the results.
Phoenix was not overthinking. Helen, edit that in.
Also, you proved that Rio was sleeping at the time of the murder.
I'm still nervous. We don't know what could happen in the trial ahead. The thing I'm most nervous about is that this recess gives Edgeworth 30 minutes to make up more bullshit.
I like that.
Think of it like this. You came into the court with nothing but your badge and you got this far.
Hi. Whoa!
Hi.
He's here. We haven't spoken to him
Mr.
yet.
Lestate is here.
I'm the defendant, Mr. Lestate. You are defending me in court.
Why did you give him and Red White the exact same voice?
It's a slightly different accent. All right, I'll change it.
Oh, you're right. It is a different accent. Please continue.
No,
I know. I have your
new
profile,
voice.
you fucking dingbat. Are you sending me the $500,000 on PayPal or straight to my bank account?
Mind your own business.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, that's
Sure.
That's a voice.
You told me to change it.
I like to
You
do
waited. I
that.
should change it.
Yeah, all right. I
I mean-
sure did.
It's Tar's punishment.
Yep. This is my doing. This is my hubris. I'm starting to question if I even want to defend you anymore. I get paid either way.
Why would you even say that?
Because you extorted thousands of dollars out of various people?
Hold on, I'm getting a call from my good friend Stevien.
Deviant.
Stevien, say hi to my lawyer.
Mr. Wright, flip your badge over and read the number there in your head.
All right, it's 116.
Wait, did we need to see that number?
No, I think the point.
I got as far as 116. I think I saw the 7-4.
Okay.
Stevian?
Oh, 116740943.
How does it?
Wait, no,
How
I
does he
said
know
the
the
wrong
number?
voice.
Yeah, you did. You did the wrong voice.
I did the state's voice. Isn't he funny?
Am I in danger? Anyways, you've been leeching from tons of people. Even if I get you a not guilty, you'll keep on ruining lives.
Incorrect.
Is that chocolate milk?
I only make these contracts with landlords, the true scum of the earth.
Based.
Would you bat an eye if someone was to steal the blood of a mosquito?
Holy shit.
I like this
Of
voice
course
now.
you wouldn't.
It's perfect.
That's perfect.
How is taking money from a landlord any different from draining a parasite of their blood?
Pretty based.
And once I hit exactly $300 million, which will be soon, I can donate 80% of it to charity. My biggest hustle will be complete!
In court, I'd appreciate you. I'd appreciate if you didn't mention how much you hate landlords, please. Also, while we have the chance, I've got a few questions I wanted to ask before the trial even started. So if you could put your scars away.
Ask away.
Thank you. Can you tell me what exactly happened last night?
Well, like the witnesses said, we had a party at my place. We played Angel Eyes about 20 minutes, and then I went to make the pizza.
So you made the pizza. No one else helped you?
Well, it was my party, so I made the pizza. It wasn't that hard. When I pulled it out of the oven, I let it rest on the counter for about 20 minutes while I...
Helen, can you put in a bleep noise right there? Thank you.
Yes.
Damn, I would hate to see that damage.
What?
What?
Would you like to see a photo of it?
No, thank you.
Here it is. Pretty cool, huh?
Defendant, we need you in court. Attorney, the trial will result. Jesus Christ, is that a tapeworm?
I'm glad I didn't look.
I have questions.
The trial of Mr. Lestate is now back in session. Prosecution, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bullshit!
Defense, are you ready to proceed?
Bullshit! I mean, yes, Your Honor.
Very well. As you remember, the court took a recess so that Maya could channel Mr. Atme. She has completed the channeling, and the court is now ready to proceed with his testimony.
All right, who is at me?
I think it's you, since you said you wanted to be all the witnesses.
Wow, it's hot down there.
I love it.
Should have thought of that before becoming a landlord.
Aren't you the one defending a landlord?
Aren't you the dead one?
Touche.
Please, for the love of God, stop wasting my time! Mr. Atme, you've been channeled to provide testimony for the trial. Can you do that for us?
I don't know. What's in it for me?
Aced!
Yeesh, okay, where do you want me to start? Jesus.
Well, a quick overview of what happened from your perspective would be helpful.
You be a little more specific. There was quite a bit that happened that night.
Just tell us about the moment of your murder for now. That should clear things up.
But wait a minute, he was sleeping at that point.
That should be no problem. Let me think of where to start.
From my point of view.
After dinner, the defendant asked me to have a meeting with him about our contract. During our meeting, I suddenly got very sleepy, and I felt like I was about to pass out.
So far, so good.
So I borrowed the defendant's bedroom so I could lay down and rest a while. I was pretty much passed out, but I could feel a heavy breeze before I died. Suddenly, I felt a pain in my chest, and a lot of force, and it went dark. I surmised that when my killer first arrived, he came in through the window. Never knew I got stabbed till I ended up there.
Well, it looks like the afterlife is real after all. However, Mr. Atme, one aspect of your testimony puzzles me.
What is it, Your Honor?
You said that you only realized the cause of your death after you ended up in the afterlife. What do you mean by that?
Well, Your Honor, when you get to the afterlife, you get a kill cam of how you died.
Hey, is this like that duty of Coles thing?
Imagine my surprise when I saw someone doing a 360. Sounding like this.
Does this mean that you saw who murdered you in this kill cam?
No, their identity was hidden during it. I could only see a black silhouette.
And how did you only realize your cause of death after the fact? Surely being stabbed is a distinct feeling.
Honestly, with the pressure and sharp pain in my heart, I kind of thought it was a heart attack. Not that it matters what I thought. Stabbing or heart attack, I couldn't prevent my death at that point.
Everything he testified lines up with the theory I had earlier. Mr. Atme, did anybody fill you in on what's been going on during this trial?
No, I was only told that I was here to testify about my murder.
I guess my theory was right after all. All I've got to do is press him a bit, and then I can end this trial with a not guilty.
Uh-oh.
You probably think this testimony guarantees you a not guilty verdict, right?
Stop
This
getting
got-
in my head, you asshole!
Like, this is getting more and
Yes.
more Maximilian Pegasus, and I'm here for it. Yugi boy!
One sec. I'm starting to understand just how much defense attorneys rely on pressure and false confidence. Looking at this testimony, I've realized I could easily have thwarted your argument earlier. Bravo, Mr. Wright, on making me think raising the dead was my only choice. I should have objected while I had the chance, but hindsight is 20/20.
Do you have more to say, or do you just want to talk shit?
Just letting you know that I won't let you hold back during this cross-examination. I will point out the flaw in your version of events if you were too weak-willed to do so yourself.
I guess he just really wanted to use that one pose.
Ooh, shiver me timbers, I'm so scared! Whatever will I do?
I like how childish they are in this game.
Stop LARPing and let me get to my cross-examination.
Can you guys light it up a bit?
Classic Udgy. Classic Udgy.
Alright. So all we need to do is press him, right?
No, we gotta restart.
The music!
Can you be more specific about how he invited you?
It was around 7 when he invited me, I think, though I'm not sure how long it lasted till I bit the dust. We'd been fighting over the contract for a few weeks, which is why he suggested it. He said he wanted to meet in private to settle things once and for all.
Interesting.
And how did the meeting go?
Neither of us would budge on the issue. It got pretty heated. He said that a parasite like me deserved to be leeched off of. I asked him how he was any different, and he said he was doing it ironically.
Yeah, that sounds like Mr. Lestate, alright.
We likely would have got into a fist fight if we kept bickering with each other. However...
Any clue as to why?
Given how suddenly it happened, I was most likely drugged with something, probably during dinner. I'm just kind of talking out of my ass, though. I'm not sure.
Yes, you were drugged with something.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Hey, that's been my thing! That information is on a need-to-know basis.
He's so scummy. It's part of my own death.
Yeah, you're dead. What do you need the information for?
I was going to object, but I actually agree. Shut up, Luke.
Based!
Aww. What? You're not making my final moments on Earth very nice.
All you ever talk about is how you're dead. Get a new personality.
I'm just going to continue with my testimony.
That's not getting a new personality. Why the defendant's bedroom?
Oh yeah, it's the guest bedroom.
I thought you were in a heated argument with each other.
That is true, we were arguing. But the sleepiness approached very suddenly for me. Under normal circumstances, I would have asked to use a guest bedroom. But I honestly felt that if I didn't lay down right then and there, I would have passed out on the floor.
And the defendant didn't object to you borrowing his room either?
He agreed pretty much instantly. Probably to get out of the argument like a candy ass.
You must have thought it was sweet if you were willing to fall asleep in his room.
I'm going to ignore you.
That was your punishment for using words no one has ever heard before.
As I was saying...
Felt a heavy breeze. Do you have any idea where the breeze came from? What are you doing?
I'm trying to see if there is still a brain underneath that whack-ass haircut. I already went through my testimony once. Did you not hear me say that I had thought that the killer could have come through the window?
Don't say mean things to me! That's my job!
The breeze was coming from my right, so I'm certain it was from the window. Perhaps the sound of the wind suppressed some footsteps, because after the breeze started...
You didn't make any noise when this happened?
How could I? I was teetering on the edge of consciousness when it happened. It took everything that I had mentally to even stay awake as long as I could. I think I involuntarily screamed, but no sound came out.
So, can I safely assume that you don't know the exact time that this occurred?
Nope, I was concentrating on resting and hadn't looked at a clock in a while.
Continue.
Based on the circumstances of my murder...
You came in through the window. What makes you think that the killer came in through the window? We were already over this.
Well, like I said earlier, I could feel the breeze over me. Also, I would have heard if someone opened the bedroom door, and light would have poured in.
So someone came to that house sometime after 7 and killed who they thought was the defendant.
I guess that's just a theory.
Any clue as to who would want to commit such a crime against Mr. Lestate?
Literally anyone that worked for him. I know for a fact that he rips off some of the other landlords that work for him. Sadly, though, I did not see my killer, so I cannot give you a definite culprit.
So how are we going to narrow down which of Lestate's landlords snuck in through that window?
For the most part, I didn't actually witness much of my murder.
Never knew. Stabbed till I ended up there. Could you describe what there means in a little more detail?
Hell, Phoenix. I went to hell. That's where all landlords go when they die.
Based.
The devil makes you work endlessly, but doesn't pay enough to cover the cost of living. It truly is where I belong.
That had nothing to do with the case, but thank you anyway. Despite the fact that I asked. If I find a contradiction here, it's basically just saying that my earlier theory was wrong. I'm not thrilled about the situation that would put me in, but I have to rip off the Band-Aid. I just need to keep looking for anything unexplained or inconsistent. And I need to be ready to improvise a new theory.
I believe in you.
Oh, I need mental help. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, that was weird.
He's just
Weird.
thinking about how he needs help. Okay.
Maybe. Okay, so anything unexplained. Was the window open in the first place?
He said he felt it come from his right. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that
When he
makes
was at
sense.
his
From his
left.
right, that lines
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
Except it's not like directly.
Yeah, it's like the breeze isn't.
The breeze
the breeze
could travel like that.
But it would have to go like this way.
Yeah.
But let's just look at the other statements real fast.
Dark. In through the window.
I think the breeze is a new detail that we haven't heard before. I feel like that's
Yeah,
more likely.
might be worth a shot.
Yeah. This is a heavy breeze too. It's not just like.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
The devil must be playing tricks on you to lie that easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just
it's
looking
clearly
at
it.
Um,
penalty for reminding me that I'm bald.
Huh. Wait, so wait. Let's see. Stab wound to the heart. So, okay.
Traces of sleeping powder. Signs of some sort of radiation.
Yeah, that hasn't come up yet.
Radiation hasn't come up yet.
The pain in his chest, and it went dark.
That makes sense.
Everything he's saying makes sense.
There wasn't anything in any of the presses that...
Well, okay, so when we pressed everything, there wasn't like any other alternate menus.
Yeah. Well, I was like saying like any like
contradiction.
Yeah, like any detail.
Yeah, whoever
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna go ahead and check the walkthrough.
Let me try the window. I want to try the window phrase on here at the very least.
All pressing conversations and penalties are worth it.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah, there's not that much to work with here. It's just interesting.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so if he was teetering on consciousness, how could he have actually like felt any of the things that he said he did? You're supposed to present the sleeping powder on statement 4.
Oh.
This one. No. Go back. One statement.
Let's how we read this.
That's weird though, because he acknowledges that he was tired, that he was basically. Is that really the contradiction?
Yeah. Present sleepy powder X on statement 4, I was pretty much, or statement 6, I surmised that. It looks like my theory from earlier was wrong. Earlier, I assumed that the first time the fourth party arrived, they came in through the window.
Did they not? I am certain I felt a breeze from the window.
The issue is that if the first time they showed up at the party was at this point...
Then how did the defendant and victim get drugged?
You're right!
Never take my objection from me again. I am not afraid to lose my career over hurting you. This is not a joke, and I'm more than open to you reporting this threat to someone.
Jesus.
You can report it to me if you feel unsafe. Don't worry, Phoenix. I'll throw the complaint out.
Thank you.
They're homies.
Anyways, based on the fact that the true killer drugged the food before 6 p.m. that night, they have to have already been at the party.
Finally, you are agreeing with me. Based on the evidence, it leaves the killer as no one but Mr. Lestate.
Okay, so we're assuming that it was the killer.
I
that
already
drugged
showed that the defendant was asleep at the time of the murder. The person that left the room had to have been someone else.
If the defendant was asleep at the time of the supposed murder, and you have no other suspect, wouldn't a normal person suggest that the supposed time of the murder is wrong?
The murder had to have occurred after Maya's sighting. And Red White himself said that he saw the fourth party at 8:05. Don't think I forgot. Mr. Atney, please think. Do you really have no clue who at the party could have stabbed you?
I'm honestly not sure. If the defendant was really asleep, then it has to be Red or Maya. But I don't know which one of them did it, or why they would want to kill me in the first place. Mr. Lestate is the only one who seemed like they wanted to kill me that night. Who the hell murdered me?
Well, this isn't making any sense. Was I too hasty in assuming Red White and Maya's innocence? Red White saw a man leaving the crime scene, yet Mr. Lestate was asleep. The only option that makes sense is that the killer wasn't at the party. But how the hell would he have drugged the victim and the defendant then? Could Red White have been tricking us all? Was he really the one that left the room? Of course! Luke, you killed yourself and tried to blame Mr. Lestate for it. You left the bedroom, then climbed back in through the window before killing yourself.
What? Why the hell would I kill myself?
Because that's the based response.
Suicide is badass!
Based?
Mr. Wright, that is not based. Do you have any actual reason?
Don't you ever call me cringe again. To ruin Mr. Lestate's life.
Why the hell wouldn't I just have murdered that asshole then? Grr, I'm so mad that I'm going to kill myself.
A motive may not make sense, but there's no evidence it wasn't an elaborate suicide.
God damn it.
You can say that about 90% of stabbings.
Oh, he's right. It doesn't make much sense. No matter who I assume the murderer is, something just doesn't fit. Maybe I should start considering accomplices. I feel like we're missing something here.
It is incredibly obvious that the defendant is pulling some sort of trick.
Enough! We've already proven the defendant could not have done it.
It's clear that he's done some sort of scheme to make it seem like he was asleep during the murder.
Some sort of scheme. You wouldn't happen to have any clue how he could be guilty. You don't have any clue how he could be guilty, and you know it. Are you going to help us find out what actually happened, or will you keep blindly accusing Mr. Lestate?
You say I'm the one who has no clues while you can't even name a clear culprit? I would be fighting for Mr. Lestate's innocence if you could give me a reason to. You can't present an alternative culprit, so it's up to me to keep everyone on track. I'm not letting real Lestate get away with this murder!
Oh.
Proof of... Oh, shit!
All the conclusion
Whoa.
right now is a result of some trickery performed by Mr. Lestate. Consider this, the pizza was split into 4 plates when it was taken to the guests. Even if Mr. Lestate was absent for the kitchen for some reason, only he could know who to drug. He also could have been awake at 8:05 if he simply didn't drug his food until a few minutes into dinner. He waited a few minutes until guests were distracted, then hastily poured powder on his plate. The fact that the defendant had more powder left on his plate than at me did support this. Supports this.
This argument actually makes it possible for Mr. Lestate to be the killer. Great.
This is how someone could have entered through the window while still drugging Mr. Atney. There. Now we can go home.
Wait, why would Mr. Lestate go through the window instead of the door, though?
So that no one would see him enter the bedroom, making it look like an outsider committed the murder. Any more bad questions?
No. I'm still not sure who the true culprit is, so I should focus on proving Mr. Lestate innocent. And if I can't do that, I could at least try to show how someone else could have drugged the two. Hopefully, I naturally deduce who the true culprit is on the way. Because I really can't think of which of the guests it could be.
I mean, theoretically, it could be Maya, and she channeled someone, and that's why it was a masculine person walking away.
Oh, you're right.
You're a genius.
Now, if that's the answer, I don't.
That would be based.
That'd be
Yeah,
based.
that would be based.
Yeah.
And you're only bringing this argument up now because...
I always had the first half prepared. I would have had to use it if you somehow proved that Lestate couldn't have drugged Mr. Atme. Trying to get a cohesive argument out of you is like trying to find a good cop, so I didn't need it earlier.
Based.
I was so hung up on the fact that each witness saw each other eating that I just formed the second half.
Right now, it's a pretty good argument. I need to get into the details of it and show that there's flaws in there somewhere. There has to be issues. I know Mr. Lestate is innocent. Well, I don't remotely know that, but it'd be embarrassing if I lost my last case. If he set the table, how would he know who would sit where?
I specifically said he brought the food to the guests. As in, the guests were already seated when he brought the food out. He simply had to give Mr. Atme the plate he drugged in advance. You would do well to pick up on some reading comprehension.
Reading comprehension? But you're talking!
You can't see the floating text? See, it's purple right now.
We're just going right there. Can you guys do this some other time?
Well, I don't think there's anything I can refute here. 3 witnesses saw Mr. Lestate bring out the food. He could have drugged it beforehand, hypothetically. I can't fully disprove he did. I should attack another part of Edgeworth's argument.
Mr. Edgeworth, is it possible that someone could have drugged the food before dinner?
If Mr. Lestate was absent from the kitchen for some reason, only he could know who to drug. Is that so? What can you tell me about the... What can you tell me about the pizza?
Anything you want to know in particular?
Not really. We just haven't heard anything about the dinner outside the fact that it was pizza. We don't even know what type of pizza it was.
This is deeply
Let me see if I have anything in my notes. It looks like it was a cheese pizza, but part of it was pepperoni.
Anything else?
It was a thick crust pizza, and it was cooked on a pizza stone.
Oh.
That's really all I've got.
Is any of that important? Oh, okay. Hang on.
Part of it.
Look at
part of it was pepperoni.
Look at the sleeping powder, please. Check. Take this substance with any alcohol, any other medicine, amount rated with recommended dosage. Dosage warning? Wait, oh no, that just says the weights, right?
Yeah.
When the proper dosage, 5 grams. Okay.
Well, he said part of it was pepperoni, not that the whole thing was pepperoni.
What is a pizza stone?
It's a stone to cook pizza on.
Yeah. Toppings on the pizza are important. Since it wasn't on the whole pizza, the killer could drug people based on what topping they got.
Oh.
Who had pepperoni that night?
It looks like it was just one person had pepperoni. Mr. Lestate himself.
This proves that the true killer could have easily drugged Mr. Lestate's plate.
And Mr. Lestate could have easily drugged himself. You haven't disproven anything. You have yet to prove anything about how Mr. Atmey's plate could have been drugged.
He's got a point. I think I should go back and try asking about something else. Maybe I'll get some better info from it.
Let's move on.
Alright.
Yeah, maybe it's the seating arrangement that we need to know about.
What can you tell me about the seating arrangements?
There was no way to know where either of the witnesses would sit. I'll draw a rough depiction of the seating arrangements to illustrate.
Okay, so... Rio was at the very edge of the table. Luke and Maya were right next to each other. Red was across.
As you can see, there was no order to their seating. They just gathered at the end of the table.
I wonder if that's really the case. Based off this map, I think the true killer could have reasonably predicted where this person was going to sit.
Real estate. Would you say real estate because he's sitting at the head?
Well, okay, so I think the true...
Let's check the map again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rio is, I guess, he lives here and maybe came from the kitchen.
Well, okay, except it's a square table, so... Well, is it supposed to be rectangular? Is it supposed to only have one seat at each edge? I mean, I guess so.
I mean, if we're gonna guess anybody, it'd be like Ryu would be the most obvious person. Like, would be the easiest to guess. The easiest to guess, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because this is reasonably predicted.
Sure.
Sure, let's go ahead for Rio. The killer clearly could have predicted where Mr. Lestate was going to sit.
How would they have done that?
It's pretty reasonable to assume that the host of the party would sit at the head of the table. The killer could have used this information to drug Mr. Lestate's plate.
That could be the case if I didn't mention earlier that the guests were seated when the food was brought out.
Oh. Edgeworth, you dropped your pocket! What?
Huh. Well, we got more evidence.
Cool. Oh, it feels good to be an alpha.
What the hell? Okay, there's gotta be something we can use that with.
Yeah, okay. There's something that isn't making sense at all.
I don't know why SpaghettiOs make lightning in a microwave either.
Not that. Mr. Lestate sat at the head of the table, and his pizza was the only one that had different toppings. He was clearly the person who would have been the easiest to drug. I don't understand why he would have had to wait a few minutes into the meal to drug himself. If he drugged his plate normally beforehand, it would be easy to argue someone else did it.
Under normal circumstances, yes. But he would have had to drug himself later so he would be awake at 8:05.
He drugged himself a few minutes into the dinner so he could be awake at 8:05? He wouldn't do that. It would have drawn attention. He wouldn't need to hide
Well,
it. He would need to hide it.
No, he would, but, yeah.
Would he have known to do that? Okay, so he probably would have, he knew he had ladies. So maybe? Except
But
it would have drawn attention is the point we've been making before.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we do that one, I feel like if we say it would have drawn attention, we'd just be leading ourselves in circles. Or would he need to hide it?
He could just
no, but,
like bite into it later.
That's right, but I mean, if he was poisoning him, but if he was giving himself sleep powder, would he need to hide that he was giving himself sleep powder? Because, like, it's like he's giving it to himself, not necessarily to someone else. It's like, why would he have to secretly give himself sleeping powder? Anybody could have just assumed it's something else, or he needs sleeping medication to help him sleep later.
Sure, let's say
let's
say
they
he
don't
wouldn't need to
necessarily
hide.
know how long it takes for it to kick in.
Yeah.
He wouldn't need to make such a big deal about hiding himself taking the medicine. He could just say he was taking his prescribed sleep medicine to get to bed later that night.
Then we would all know that he was awake before he left the room. Did you even think about what before you said that?
Sorry. If he drugged his plate, no. Okay, so.
Okay, so this is just.
Okay. So.
Do you want to go? He wouldn't know to do that since.
Yeah,
Well,
let's do that one.
Okay.
Don't just go back to the previous choice. This is the real world, Phoenix. People don't repeat their arguments until you get the right counter.
How the hell?
He knew!
Out of my head! I don't understand why he would have. Wait a few minutes. Wait, hang on. Did he?
I think that was just a expression bug. Like that wasn't.
So
Oh, yeah.
I guess
That's
it's the middle choice.
yeah.
Wouldn't doing that have drawn too much attention? Okay, so
Did you not hear the part of my argument where I said he did it while everyone was distracted? He might not have needed one anyway. It's not like it's especially hard to suddenly pour something onto your plate quickly.
how about I pour some?
What?
Oh my god.
Literally 1984.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, this is just. Let me go back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it is a top option, but we made a funny thing happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying the reason he took the sleeping powder later was to leave the crime scene after 8? So he just psychically knew that it would be 8:05 when he left the crime scene?
You're either intentionally misrepresenting the issue or brain dead. He knew he was going to kill Luke at the meeting. Once that was done, he just had to climb through the window and leave at an arbitrary time. He just decided that the time was to be 8 p.m. and drugged himself to give him ample time.
Did you just conveniently forget Mr. Atme wasn't dead until after the meeting? Mr. Atme himself said the killer came in through the window. Mr. Lestate would have to rely on the fact that Mr. Atme would rest in his room after the meeting. Also that Mr. Lestate could come in through the window and murder him. He couldn't have predicted all of that.
That's just a small setback. How's this? Aha! The whole reason behind the meeting was so that Mr. Lestate could force Luke to get tired. It was to keep him in one place so that Luke would get so tired he'd have no choice but to rest there. It was then that Mr. Lestate could kill Mr. Atme and leave the crime scene at a scheduled time.
But to make it seem like an outsider did the crime, he'd have to know Red White was outside.
His disguise was a contingency plan in case of a witness. He did not specifically need one. Disguise was also primarily used to hide bloodstains, Not just to disguise his identity. He just needed to make it seem like he was asleep at the time of the murder. That's how he was going to make it look like an outsider committed the murder.
But there's still an issue. Murder.
Murder!
The dosage that was on Mr. Lestate's plate was way more than the correct dose.
Murder, right? Murder, Mr. Phoenix, right? Murder!
This would drastically reduce how long it would take him to fall asleep. Wait a minute. Except bad things happen when you overdose.
Yep.
Mr. Lestate would know that he couldn't accurately time his crime to occur at 8.
Ah! Why didn't you just lead with that? Well, we know that there was an excess of sleeping medicine on the plate itself. He could have just spread the correct dose on his food and left behind what he overpoured.
He couldn't have accurately measured the correct dose like that!
Man, this is a freaking rally.
There's no way Mr. Lestate could have drugged himself during the dinner!
Mr. Lestate probably could not have drugged himself a few minutes into the party. The defense have shown this. However, the defense also pointed out earlier that the medicine is prescribed to Mr. Lestate. While the chance is small, I think the defendant could have been able to approximate the correct dose. And the meeting would give him a chance to force Mr. Atme to fall asleep in his room. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth, continue your discussion. At length. And Mr. Wright, do keep in mind that you have yet to show how the true killer drugged Mr. Atme.
Oh, his argument is on its last legs. I need to press it until it breaks. Damn, we're just back here?
Wow.
Hey man, this is a fucking... This is the final boss. We should hit save, by the way, since we've gone through the whole section.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Once again, what reason would he have for this? There's no real reason he needed his crime to occur exactly when it did. Your theory is only like this because you have to explain why your theory was 5 minutes off. Does that not make it a weak theory?
Well, we can't know everything about the defendant's plan unless he confesses. Perhaps he figured that there would be less people upstairs at this point.
The defendant was worried about people seeing him? Why didn't he just lock the door from the inside and leave the window open then? You've already said his goal was to be awake so he could make it seem like an outsider did the crime. This is a much simpler plan that doesn't risk him being witnessed. Also, if he wanted to make it seem like an outsider did the crime, that...
His own clothing because he had nothing on hand. It would also make it look like he was being framed. Since most people would assume he was drugged right at 6, they would think he was asleep.
And why he didn't do the plan I suggested?
He either didn't think of it or he was scared to climb down 2 stories. My plan may seem unlikely, but keep in mind that you have no suggestion for who the culprit is. It's the only way for someone who could have come through the window and drugged Mr. Lestate and Luke.
So what are the stakes? Are we trying to, like, prove that there's reasonable doubt, or are we not to interrupt, but you guys have been arguing for, like, 10 minutes. Why am I still on the stand? I can wait in a lobby or something if you want. I've got better things to do, I'm dead.
Interrupt us again, and I'll kill you and send you to double hell.
No need to get aggressive.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not convinced that Mr. Lestate had a reason to wait a few minutes to drug himself. But, as you said, it is currently our only possibility, however slim it is.
I feel like I've done more damage to his argument. Waited a few minutes until the guests were distracted. Hastily poured powder on the plate. Okay, hang on. Present the sleeping medicine because... Well, okay, hang on. Press first.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Press because
I think the problem here is that he would have overdosed.
yeah, and there would have been the side effects. Yeah, I'm on the same page as you.
The judge seems open to the possibility that he can perfectly get the right amount, though, but we'll see.
Surely you have proof of this distraction?
Everyone was busy talking and eating. He could have found an opening.
A beta cuck like you wouldn't know, but normal people make eye contact when they talk. It was Mr. Lestate's party. They would have been looking and talking at their host.
So why would you say that?
Mr. Atney, did any such distraction occur during the dinner?
Maybe. I can't think of anything like that could have happened. Since I can't remember, I'll say no for now.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, can you prove this distraction actually happened?
I'll kill you.
So he poured too much powder on, then carefully spread the proper dosage onto his actual food.
Our records on the defendant show that he's been taking Sleepy Powder X for at least a year. He should be able to approximate the proper 5 grams by now.
That's not my issue. If he had to take time to scrounge together a proper dose, someone would have noticed. So, what was so distracting that no one looked at Mr. Lestate for at least half a minute?
Heard.
This is honestly hard to watch.
Mr. Edgeworth, it has been made astoundingly clear that Mr. Lestate did not drug himself. The only time he could have drugged himself was at 6, so he would have been asleep at 8:05.
Yes, it does appear that way.
I've finally been able to prove almost beyond a doubt that Mr. Lestate is innocent. There's some mysteries remaining, but as long as I prove he was drugged forcefully, I'm good. Considering all the facts, I just need to concentrate on how the true killer drugged Mr. Atney. But you can't show how someone else could drug Luke.
Let me see if there's other statements to this.
Okay, that's it. I can only think of one way that the true killer could have drugged Mr. Atney. I've just got to think calmly and present who drugged him to the court.
Okay. Well, there's not that many characters, surely. Red White mentioned
Wait a
having
minute.
stuff on the pizza.
What?
Wait, did he?
Yeah, wasn't he like acting like there's some like we ate pizza right away because there's some special stuff on the pizza, or maybe he was just making a joke about how things turned out.
Maybe. Although we also said that Maya Fey
But how
could
would
have
she get it on
channeled
the...
someone.
But she could get it onto Atmy's because she's next to Atmy if she somehow snuck it. But how would she get it onto Lestate's?
Wait, wasn't she put in between? Wasn't Maya in between them?
No. Rio was next to. Luke. No, Luke was between.
Okay. Well, okay, except we also said that Rio was the easiest one to drug because his was different and he is sitting in a predictable spot.
That is true. So you.
So Maya's sitting next to Luke and already knowing to do the thing with Rio.
Mhm.
I'm not 100% on this logic, but I like the theory that Maya's the killer.
No, but something else that's bothering me is why. Like why, poison Luke? If Rio is the target, why put the sleepy powder on Luke? So
well, that's part of the framing, I guess.
Hear me out. Rio drugged Luke. Someone else drugged Rio.
I mean, it's possible. This whole case is crazy because, like, it's like
So-
90% based on hypotheticals.
So but the question is, but you can't. Maybe someone else didn't drug him out himself. So you can't show us how someone else could drug Luke. Now, given that this is a funny meme case, the only person who could potentially, because it's operating on the logic that everybody was like, no one was distracted enough to poison.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody else.
Luke.
Luke said
Plus-
there was no distractions.
Plus, Luke had the right dosage as well. So
Oh, you're right.
I think Rio drugged Luke, but someone else drugged Rio.
I mean, you
Okay.
can try it. Did we save?
I'll save again.
Cool.
One sec, I think that's the thing that makes the most sense under this set of logic. Because if they were asking who drugged, if they're not asking who drugged the state, they're asking who drugged Luke.
Right.
Oh
I
no!
noticed the music didn't stop. Okay.
Do not worry, child. Your heart will be stopping soon, and your worries will vanish.
Ah! I've got butterflies in my stomach now for some reason. My head won't stop fluttering either. Or my heart won't stop fluttering either. Okay, so...
Let's
We do not go through the game with a tiny chunk out of our health bar.
hell no. So do we want
This
to
is
go
a
with
perfect
Maya's-
no damage run.
so
We'll go
since-
Maya,
We'll go.
because Maya's next to him. Shit, I've got no idea. I've got no idea.
Well, let's
then-
try red-white.
Because
What if he
said
drugged
that like
himself?
because he said there was something funny on the pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, are they going Luke? Luke poisoned them? Because if
Well, we just talk about who drugged Luke.
well, no, but think about it this way: like potentially Luke put maybe the situation was reversed. If maybe Luke poisoned Rio, like because he knew which pizza was his, and then he put the pizza on it. Then like after the scene, he put some powder on his own.
Well, okay, except Luke openly said that that's preposterous. Ooh, I'm
Yes, I know
so
yeah,
mad
he
I'm
would
gonna...
say that.
I mean, we can
But
try it.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
I'm sorry.
No need to be sure it was wrong, Phoenix, right?
This isn't the time for your petty jokes. I know who the true killer is. Mr. Atme, why?
It's dramatic. Why? What?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. I'm trying to give you a chance to admit it.
You can't possibly be trying to say.
I am. The only way the facts can line up is if Luke Atme killed himself.
First of all, weirdest blackout timing ever.
That was interesting.
Second of all, how? How did the facts all suddenly line up if Luke did this all?
After our several discussions, we have arrived at the following conclusions. Maya and White couldn't have drugged Mr. Atme's plate. That's been proven. The defendant couldn't have drugged himself. There was no way for him to time everything. That meant someone else had to do it. And man, did Luke trick us good. We kept on thinking the killer was someone at the party, but to think it was the victim itself. Luke at me, you killed yourself and then tried to blame it on the defendant. What do you have to say for yourself?
I have nothing to say.
So you admit it?
Quite the contrary, I have nothing to say since I didn't do it. And the prosecution will back me up and counter your outlandish claims. Hello? Earth to the prosecution? Are you there? Are you having a stroke? Should we call someone? Bro, please.
I have no counter-claims or evidence to show the court. Mr. Wright just finished proving that Mr. Lestat could not have drugged himself after 6.
What?
Thank you, Edgeworth.
How can you believe that thick-headed attorney? He barely knows what he is doing.
Enough with the shouting, Luke. That's my job. It would be impossible for the true killer to drug Luke Atney's plate unless it was you yourself.
Mr. Wright, stop shouting! Jesus. Mr. Atney, I am inclined to believe the defense's accusation. If you truly are innocent, now's your chance to give us testimony in your defense.
What if I plead the fifth?
Death is no escape from me.
Well,
I agree. We should let Luke testify once more. So I can be the second person to put him down.
be careful what you wish for. Yes.
Yes.
Prove of innocence. If Mr. Lestat couldn't drug himself during dinner, neither could I. There was no way to drug his plate. He brought the food out to us, remember? Also, I could have just kept him in the meeting until he passed out, then killed myself there. It makes much more sense than doing the elaborate setup you suggested. You still can't even show why I would kill myself in the first place.
So I noticed something immediately. Oh, it looks like you've wasted your chance to defend yourself. I have no clue how to refute half of this.
When I'm done possessing this body, I'm going straight into yours. What? Enjoy having everything smell like rotted meat?
You're coming into my body. Why do you, as a man, feel the need to enter the body of another man?
This got past the mods.
I'll start the cross-examination now.
Okay, so you said you noticed something immediately.
Yeah, what's up?
So, how would Mr. Atney know about... So, Mr. Atney doesn't know about... about Eileides syndrome.
Yes. Oh, good point.
I could have just kept him in the meeting until he passed out and killed myself there. No.
That is
because he has Eileides. We're not going to do the press conversations, apparently, but, I mean...
Yeah, fuck it.
We're gonna nail him.
We're gonna nail him. We don't have time for this shit.
Do you think such a weak claim is going to fly over my head? Such a pathetic claim. Honestly, what a lame-ass claim. A real shitty argument.
Gee, okay.
A horrible piece of...
Get to your point.
There's a clear reason that Mr. Atney wouldn't have waited for Mr. Lestat to fall asleep. It's because of Mr. Lestat having Eileides syndrome.
ladies syndrome? What even is that?
Oh, here, please. Please do it. Hi, ladies, nuts in your mouth.
In your mouth.
Tag team. Get fucked at me.
That is the greatest use of the the verses.
That was so good.
Due to this syndrome, the defendant would take an extra 30 minutes to fall asleep.
I imagine you got to the time that Mr. Lestate should have passed out and panicked. He was still awake, and you must have thought that the medicine didn't work.
You had no clue what to do, and you didn't know about the defendant's syndrome. There's even the chance the defendant left on his own. You'd be in the meeting for a while. You realized you would have to change plans, which is perhaps where suicide became an option.
Seems drastic, but okay. This is all just conjecture.
So was your claim that you should have waited for Mr. Lestate to fall asleep before killing yourself. And we've provided a completely valid explanation for why you wouldn't have.
Mr. Atme, you are not looking as innocent as you originally appeared. Continue your testimony.
Okay, so why is it purple?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is
You
weird.
didn't know about Mr. Lestate's condition, which is why you didn't wait for him to sleep. That was weird.
Yeah.
This whole bit's weird.
Makes much more sense than doing the elaborate setup you suggested. Still can't even show why I would kill myself in the first place. Can you present the contract there?
Yeah,
maybe. So I think that one frame is just like, oh, it shows that you did it, like you like as a.
I guess we're like overtaking
Oh.
all of his statements.
Oh, is it because of the radiation?
Oh, maybe he didn't have long to live anyway,
Wait.
because he had some kind of radiation.
Yeah.
That's
let me-
it's weird that that hasn't come into play yet.
Yeah.
Let's press it.
Let's press, because this might be like a.
Do you need a reason? Maybe you just had a bad week.
I canonically double dog dared a suicidal person to kill themselves, and even I think that was brash.
Of course I need a reason to kill myself. It's the most important part of proving a suicide.
I can't think of a reason he would have taken his own life. Maybe there's something hiding in the evidence. I just need the smallest clue to go off of.
Yeah, that'll be
Okay,
it.
so this is the rate.
Like, evidence that his life wasn't worth living anymore. Or maybe that he didn't have long to live.
Okay.
There
okay,
we go.
got it.
Okay. I didn't come to this trial prepared, so I'm not sure where to get any of that.
If only I wasn't such a massive fucking idiot.
I'm so close to the end. I can feel it. I just have to break this last argument. I just need to press everything and wring out all the flaws like I did with Edgeworth. And maybe double check some of my evidence again. Okay, so...
So we know why he killed himself.
Yeah, he didn't have long to live anyway. While I was looking over your autopsy report, I couldn't help but notice something strange.
Are you talking about the knife in my chest? I also find it quite odd. Of course,
No,
he wears gloves.
It's something that's listed in this section.
So I think it's other
yeah,
notes.
other notes.
Yeah, other notes.
This is why there's no other fingerprints on the knife. Because he's glove boy.
It's in the other notes section. It mentions that radiation was found on your body. Isn't that odd?
Radiation? The coroners are probably doing something weird with my body then.
The report mentions that the radiation must be at least a day old. So, it must be from something that happened before you were even showed up at the party that night.
Well, what do you suppose this radiation is from?
I'm not sure what the radiation is from, but if I had to make an educated guess, it's from...
Treatment. If you had radiation therapy for cancer.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
Wait. Maybe it's treatment for something.
Why would something as dangerous as radiation be used to treat something? I don't have to sit here and listen to you make wild guesses all day.
I'm certainly not an expert on the subject, but I know radiation therapy is used in medicine. Specifically to treat some form of cancer. Mr. Atby, keep in mind that we can access your medical records at any time. Is the reason you have radiation on your body because you recently got treatment for a terminal illness?
This is a goddamn kangaroo court! You don't have a clue what you're saying, do you?
Yeah, I don't think this was the right one.
You just make up whatever wild-ass assertions make someone look the guiltiest! Answer the question, Mr. Atman. Fine. I have a terminal disease. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Okay, alright, I guess this is the right one.
Reveal every private detail of my life, why don't you? Why not go through my financial records and tell everyone whether I have a pre-shitter or not? What?
What was your life expectancy on the day of the murder, Mr. Atme?
I found out about it too late. It was just a month.
Well, Your Honor, I think I've proven why suicide would be an option for Mr. Atme. It's no secret that our court system readily assumes who the guilty party is. Mr. Atme decided to take advantage of this when he came up with the plan. Murdering someone ends their life immediately, but a false arrest ruins the rest of their entire life. He was going to die in a month. He decided to give up his life to destroy real estates.
I still have more I can counter with.
Oh, joy. I gotta...
Okay, your terminal illness provides a clear motive for you to commit suicide instead of murder. Okay.
So we gotta knock out
So-
every
oh,
single...
Do we have to... Is it every single statement do we have to knock out?
Oh,
I guess
jeez.
so.
Okay, so...
I guess we just have to
okay,
press
so
it.
let's go back to the beginning, I guess. Mr. Lestat couldn't drag himself, neither could I.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of true, because he wouldn't know which play... One sec.
There was no way to... He brought the food out to us, remember?
There's no... Is there any evidence about... let's just go back and start pressing some of these.
Yeah. Care to elaborate?
No.
You can do that?
I've got my keys.
Your hell keys?
Witness, explain why you couldn't have drugged yourself during the dinner.
The hedgehog head-ass defense attorney already explained.
Everyone would have noticed me drugging the food. It would be impossible. Also, do you think my gloves were on while I was eating that greasy pizza? My fingerprints would be on the bottle if I drugged my plate during dinner.
How can you know that your fingerprints aren't on the bottle? You weren't told any information about the crime when you were channeled.
Because I know I didn't touch the bottle. Because I'm innocent. As fuck. Pretty simple concept, really.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Anyways, as the facts stand, I couldn't have drugged myself during the dinner.
He probably couldn't have drugged himself during the dinner. But what about...
During the dinner.
After the dinner.
He could have fucking gone in a fridge and poured in a packet of cheese.
Well, it could be before dinner because he wouldn't know what pizza it would be. It could be during dinner, but...
Yeah, no, he could do it before because... Well, he could have at least... Oh, we're talking about himself, though.
Yeah.
Because it would be easier to drug the state, but not him.
You know, he could have... No, here's the thing. He could... Because we know... If assuming he's the one that stabbed himself, then he wasn't too asleep to stab himself. Therefore, the timeline of when he fell asleep, he could have faked falling asleep.
You're right. Your argument is trying to mislead us. Of course you couldn't drug yourself during the dinner. But when did anyone ever say that's when you did it? You could have drugged yourself anytime you wanted before you killed yourself. You didn't actually need to fall asleep for the autopsy to show that the powder was inside you.
Mr. Lestate, on the other hand, was asleep when we arrested him. And he could not sleep without the help of his prescription medicine, so he wasn't faking it.
Someone opened the door while I was resting. They would have seen the effect the medicine had on me.
He must be talking about Maya. It's pretty easy to just lay down with your eyes closed. There's no proof you were actually asleep.
Isn't the sleeping medicine I was drugged with proof enough?
Mr. Lestate didn't drug himself. The only way you could have been asleep before Maya saw you is if you were drugged during dinner. The only way you could be drugged during dinner is if Mr. Lestate drugged you. Since he couldn't have drugged himself then, that means you both drugged each other. That doesn't seem very likely now, does it?
I rescind that theory I posted, or I said earlier in the show. Definitely not my brightest moment.
Trybien has changed. He has grown. He is trying to be a better person. What kind of court is this where both sides team up on the witness? It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
This is just a witch trial.
It seems we've proven this argument to hold no water. Do you have anything else that is supposed to prove your innocence?
This is fun. We're like corrupting his whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love this.
Hell yeah. This is based.
This is based.
Very based.
There was no way to drug his plate. Mr. Lestate's pizza was the only one with pepperoni. That was the part you had to drug.
He would notice if I drugged his pizza right in front of him.
Cooking a pizza isn't labor intensive. Surely he was out of the kitchen for a bit.
Without proof, you can't claim that he didn't keep an eye on the kitchen the whole time.
I do have proof that Mr. Lestate was absent from the kitchen for some time.
Really?
Mr. Lestate said he left the kitchen to do a certain something while the pizza was resting. It took him 20 minutes. Plenty of time for you to drug his slices.
Mr. Wright, surely you know the testimony from the witness isn't solid proof. Unless if you, have proof that the defendant spent time away from the pizza. Someone else does.
Yeah, has the bailiff got it, or maybe Lestate has it?
I can prove the existence of this break, but I'm not the one who holds the proof.
I love that this is coming back. I love that this is coming back.
This is relevant? You've got to be kidding me.
That's the thing, like, I hate, like, I love hate how, like, the memes actually, like, become, like, relevant. Parts of the case. Like, it's all, like...
The one with the proof is none other than Mr. Lestate himself. Go ahead, show me your tapeworm or whatever.
I can't believe they Chekhov's gunned this.
Yeah.
Mr. Lestate, show the judge the photo you took during the 20-minute break.
With pleasure. Have a look here, Mr. Judge.
All right, let's just see here.
Mr. Wright, why would you show me this?
I've seen people executed in this courtroom before. Really?
Look at what time the picture was taken.
It was taken at 5:51 p.m. of the day of the murder. That would be shortly before dinner.
Exactly. The proves Mr. Lestate's alibi.
The what?
This picture supports Mr. Lestate's claim that the pizza was unsupervised for 20 minutes.
Are you kidding me? This is like the hijinks you would see on a video game or something.
It's funny because we're in a video game and he said that it's like a video game.
You're never leaving my head, are you?
Not until you get the courage to buy a gun and single bullets.
Brucey.
I need not state it, but that holy thing proves that Look At Me could drug Mr. Lestate.
Well, Mr. Atney, have any other arguments you need us to break? More than enough time. Makes much more sense than you suggested.
I think this has to be a press.
Yeah, this seems like a presser.
Vague to...
What do you mean by elaborate setup?
Climbing through a window, stabbing myself, drugging me and Mr. Lestate.
There's also the fact that he locked the door from outside at some point. We just went over this! You realized that the defendant wasn't falling asleep anytime soon, so you changed your plans. Assuming suicide was your goal the whole time, your original plan was probably simple. Get in a meeting with the defendant, then stab yourself. You could probably even do it with his hand. Since the defendant would be asleep, he wouldn't be able to confidently say you killed yourself. By the way, how was the body even discovered in the first place?
The guys didn't know where Luke was. Maya mentioned that he was resting, so they checked on him. He wasn't responding no matter how loud they knocked, so they called the police.
Seems kind of like overkill, but okay. Anyways, once you saw the defendant still wasn't asleep, you had to change plans. Despite not being asleep, the defendant must have been at least a little groggy. You used this to your advantage to pickpocket the key from him. Mr. Lestate left the bedroom, and you pretended to sleep while you waited to carry out your plan. At one point, Maya saw you on the bed laying down and assumed you were dead in hindsight. You later locked the door from outside in disguise.
This is the moment that Red White saw.
You planted the master key and Sleepy Powder X on Mr. Lestate and left the building. After hiding the...
Phoenix!
What is his deal? He keeps on preventing me from saying hoodie for some reason. After hiding the disguise somewhere, he had to enter the bedroom via drain pipe. It was then that you laid in the bed and stabbed your own heart. Well, Mr. Atme, did I get anything wrong?
You got all of it wrong. I didn't kill myself. You still haven't explained everything yet.
All right. Since Mr. Lestate didn't fall asleep, you changed your plans, which is why the suicide became complex.
Okay.
It looks like we've
there you go.
disproved every counterclaim you threw at us.
I guess that's lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think
I
Discord
heard
picked
it.
up my...
I heard it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I did. Okay.
Huh?
Do you really think you disproved anything with your spiky-ass head and your raggedy shoes?
I can't even see my shoes.
Nothing you can accuse me of will ever stick. Look how big my eye is. You don't think you want me pinned down here?
If my argument is so bad, then try to list a flaw.
I'll list more than a flaw. I'll tear your entire case down. Ignoring the fact that you have yet conclusively tied me to any piece of evidence. I mean, come on. I pickpocketed Mr. Lestate. Good luck proving that. Your entire case revolves around the assumption that I donned a disguise and left the scene, yes?
Yes, that way no one would know it was you leaving the bedroom.
And I'm to assume this disguise came from the defendant's bedroom.
Yes, precisely.
Well then, refute this. Pro tip, you can't. How would I have won the defendant's hoodie if we're of completely different statures? I don't know, it's big, it's a hoodie?
Hey, it hasn't been found yet.
Right. Maybe press it. It seems like...
Yeah, let's save.
This is a lot of game saves that we have going on right now.
Sure.
Yeah, I can clear some of these up.
Well, first, you put the big hole on your head.
Smart ass.
Then you put your arms and head through the 3 little holes.
You say someone witnessed me leaving the scene. They would have surely noticed that the hoodie didn't fit. Go on, explain it away.
I wonder if the defendant and Luke are really so different in stature. Edgeworth seems awfully smug. He happy about something? He's right. I don't really have a solid proof that he orchestrated the murder last night. We haven't presented the hoodie over anything yet, but I have to keep finding contradictions. Surely I reach the truth eventually.
God, he's stubborn.
No, come to think of it, I think Luke could have fit in that hoodie just fine. I don't really have any evidence that proves that, though. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to prove that Luke could have fit in the hoodie. I should look for an entirely different problem in the testimony. I might have to double-check the entire court record. So the sleeping powder says that they're of similar weights.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they're not far off, right?
126 versus 141?
They could probably wear the same thing, right?
Especially, wait one sec, especially if he's small. Like, Luke is smaller than.
But we were
right,
just told
so-
to find a different problem.
That's
But it's hard to imagine something that
It hasn't been.
Is this exactly the statement we're meant to present at?
This
Does he
is the
have
only
any more
statement we have.
Okay.
I guess the other thing is, how would he know that it wouldn't, like, that it wouldn't fit?
Well,
It's like, let's see.
Oh yeah, that is true. How would he know?
because they know each other.
Let's try presenting. Well, oh yeah, that's true. Since this testimony mentioned the hoodie, I feel like presenting the hoodie. Maybe I should find a contradiction with what he's saying about the hoodie.
Maybe it is the medicine.
Yeah.
It does seem like the kind of small detail that they're insinuating it is. Nope.
Here's how you
Owie.
take an L, owie. Thanks for the lesson, I'll keep it in mind.
We can. Where did we save?
All right,
Oh, okay.
there.
Yeah, save right there.
I don't know. You had your.
The only key proof I was able. Bad. Wait. Oh.
Down?
What? It's an audio file, but. Do we dare present the badge as a meme?
There's. It won't have anything special.
Do it.
Yeah.
Ah!
Boo!
Boo! You suck.
This case is cringe.
Yeah, that wasn't based at all. How could I have worn the hoodie if we're of different statures? But like Phoenix was saying, maybe it's not really about this. But that's what the statement is. So
Yeah.
I don't.
wait, have we? Well, we have
All right,
pressed it, right?
I'll just check the walkthrough.
Okay. I bet this is like the final thing. Eh? But I'm stumped.
It was his profile.
Oh,
Well, you got it.
really? You're gonna end it like that?
Your.
It doesn't make.
Shut your fucking mouth! I didn't ask.
That's fine.
By the way, Luke, you're guilty.
What? How am I guilty?
Hoodie.
And how does this hoodie prove that I'm guilty?
For someone that was so sure of themselves, you really are sweating like a teenage girl. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Before Phoenix further incriminates himself, allow me to explain why you are guilty. Hoodie.
What does the damn hoodie have to do with me being guilty?
Let me tell you real close. Who said anything about a hoodie?
Oh, he wasn't told the details. That's why Edgeworth wasn't.
Oh,
yeah.
we're told to do this.
Edward was a genius.
Okay, bye.
What do you mean? Who said anything? You both just said hoodie like 3 times.
To be more exact, we never said anything about a hoodie. That's why Edward was being so hush-hush about...
That's why...
Genius.
Until you did.
None of us said anything about a hoodie while you were on the stand.
Wait, isn't this like the same exact sort of contradiction that busted at me in 3-2? Like him having knowledge.
No. This was the same sort of. Oh wait, yes, it was actually.
Him having knowledge he shouldn't have.
I was gonna say this is also what got Tigray fucking locked up.
Go on,
yeah, I don't remember. Because I remember 3-2 has a pressing conversation.
Yeah, like the final one is something you have to press. You have to, the final confrontation. You have to press the statement that seems odd.
And it's something that he shouldn't know because he was in another trial.
Yes.
Oh, 3-2 spoiler warning for a 20-year-old game.
Yeah, from that game from 1940. Let's continue.
During your testimony, you specifically said you couldn't make out anything about your killer. In addition to that, you said that no one has filled you in on what's been going on during this trial. Despite this, you somehow know that the killer used a hoodie as their disguise. You know all about the hoodie, don't you? Give it up, Luke. Only the real killer could know about this. The one who wore the hoodie that night was you! We got you!
Impossible. How could you all? It was perfect! I finally had him! I gave my life up for nothing.
My ears!
Have you calmed down, Mr. Atme?
Yes.
Do you confess to the crimes you are accused of?
Yes, most everything that those two said was right, I regret to say. I could probably lie for another hour, but I doubt I'd last long with both of you hounding me. I fear that outburst used up quite a bit of energy. My connection to Maya is weakening.
Okay, you can go back to hell now.
I don't regret a thing I did.
Okay.
You two are worthy opponents.
Okay?
Okay.
Please leave.
Miss Faye, are you okay?
Valley Girl?
Yeah, you kind of did like a Valley. You kind of did like a Valley Girl thing for her, just a little bit though. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, good.
Didn't ask. I did that thing you guys did. Pretty funny, right?
That's great, Your Honor.
All right, I've kept you all here long enough, so let's say we hand down this verdict.
Sounds good to me.
No objections here.
All right then. On the charges of murder, this court finds Rio Lestate not fucking
guilty.
What a ride this has been.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. My final trial is finally over. I can retire in peace. If my math is right, I can not only afford to live 50 years, but I can also afford a pre-shitter. I guess I might as well head out.
Mr. Hyde, I can't believe you saved me.
Me neither. It was kind of dicey in there for a moment.
Well, I went ahead and interrupted 500k off in your PayPal.
So how are you gonna hit your goal of 300 million if you give me so much money?
Oh, please. I make at least 3 million a month.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyways, if you don't need anything else from me, I'm gonna hit the road.
Ah, wait! I never figured out why your fingerprints were on the knife.
It's because of my knife block.
Your what?
You know, those wooden things that hold knives in them. The way the knives are positioned, you're likely to grab the knife overhanded. Just Google it if you don't get it.
Well, that's really it. See ya.
Cool. Goodbye. Thank you for the splendid defense, Mr. Lawyer. I'm off to go throw rocks at cars.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to leave then. Hi.
Hi.
Why the long face?
I'm still not sure why the defendant's fingerprints are on the not murder weapon.
Oh, it's because the defendant has a knife block.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, fingerprints are like the ballistic markings of hands.
Uh-huh.
So I figure you got my message?
Your message?
What do you mean? You took it from me and didn't even present it?
Something I took from him and didn't present. I think he means...
Oh,
the seating chart. The seating chart? What about it?
Don't tell me you didn't flip it over.
Flip it over? Appreciate our prosecutor friend.
I like how Ren is all like smushed down. Dude.
What does that say in the blue?
The game?
Oh, fuck!
No!
How could they do this right at the end of the trial? They just lose the game.
I haven't lost the game in years.
Oh no!
Huh. Guess it would have helped if I knew that was there.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. What's important is that we were able to unite in order to fight for the truth.
I kind of carried that trial, but sure.
Whatever you say. When I go through rocks at dogs.
Sure.
This is right.
I learned something today.
You had to do that line right
It
after
doesn't
you want to
matter
rock
whether
the
you
dog.
believe your client is guilty or not. All that matters is that you're contractually obligated. All that matters is that you contractually oblige them to pay you regardless of the verdict.
I'm gonna cry. That's it?
Peace!
Damn, that was based as all hell. Oh well, I guess
God, the music is fucked up at the very end. Nope, this is just what it's gonna be.
Nope, this is
that's
how
fine.
it's gonna be.
This
has
how
been frozen in a landfill.
The base of the landfill.
Based in a
This was
cringe
great.
show.
I really liked this. Oh.
This is beautiful.
Well, okay. Click the progress bar.
The end. Go touch grass. Turnabout RPG horror.
Oh yeah, they were talking about like the audio file, but it wasn't playing for me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, you're supposed to click the progress bar.
Oh no, I mean There's a.
I-
What did that say?
Oh, they slipped up. They slipped up past the sensors.
Ah, no!
Nobody tell Unas.
Especially not Unas.
He'll be
Anyways,
like, "What
this
is
is-
English? Is not my language. What was
Happy-
that?" And we'll be like, "It means peace."
Happy April Fool's special whenever the second part gets put up.
Probably like the
mean-
uploading period after, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
It's
April
probably
Fool's
Monday.
week. April Fool's
This has
weekend?
been Bros at a landfill.
Well, you didn't have to be so
Signing off.
extra about it.
Objection.
Signing off!